The baddest woman on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, also the baddest female character in this game. Her main moveset, green, black finisher, which is a submission. George the Animal Steele and Titus O'Neil as her trainers. Will go against a 3-star gold Nia Jax to start. I want to show this because this is more often than not the match you're going to get to a certain level in versus and in feuds, just because not as many people have a 4-star gold female yet. So against a 3-star gold, we get our green match, which is what we're looking for on turn 1. That's put these 2 X gems on the board. They're like cross break gems, but they go diagonally. Like that. Major destruction. That's going to end the match against most 3-star golds and below. And that's a very typical Ronda Rousey match. That's the same moveset at 3-star gold. I'm showing you 4-star Ronda. 3-star gold is the same moveset. So that's going to finish most matches against 3-star golds. We'll show you the same build now, but this time Nia is a 4-star. So she's got 3 times the health that she had in the last match. At 4-star, same moveset, same trainers. Same green match on turn 1 to get our 2 green moves loaded. So the pattern doesn't change, but against 4 stars with so much health, Ronda hits the hardest, I think, of any woman, but even her major damage here, not going to get the job done against most 4 stars. That's almost 70k, but we're getting a kick out. So what that does is it loads our finisher. So now any progress our opponent has made to this point is about to go away. Ronda places 3 submission gems on the board, and they become those X-break gems if they stay on the board. So that's our goal, is to place them in places where they're not going to get broken, not just by the submission, but until we get our next move ready to go. My first preference is to place them near the center of the board, because that's where X-break gems do their most damage, because they need multiple directions. But my second choice, if the middle looks dangerous, if it looks like they're going to get destroyed, is I like to put them on black gems. Because now once we get our greens loaded again, which will happen on our next turn, and we put 2 more X-break gems on the board, now all of a sudden we've got 6, all on black gems, so that now when Titus puts his move out, hopefully we get multiple X-break gems going off. And that's what we get. And the board goes away. And so does 4-star Nia. So 2 pretty typical Ronda Rousey wins against a 3-star and a 4-star Nia Jax. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey, I've got Tech Diamond Dallas Page. Green DDP is a trainer that adds X-break gems. He would be perfect for Ronda. So let's add him in. We've got DDP. He adds 1 extra X-break gem, so we're going to get 3 instead of 4. At 5k, DDP adds 2 extra X-break gems, so you're going to get 4. But what you sacrifice when you put DDP is you either have to take out Titus, which I think is a terrible idea, because then you're only getting 4 random black gems instead of 8. And you're not going to get the connections that you're looking for. If it was a choose, 4 is plenty. But because it's random, I don't think it's enough. So you need Titus in there. So what you're giving up is the speed, because you have to put DDP in place of George the Animal Steele. So that means you need 2 green matches before you can get those X-break gems on the board. And as you can see, we haven't had much luck with green. So now, as so often happens In a women's match, most of these women have relatively low charge submissions. Alexa, Naomi, Paige, they've all got Natty. They've all got these low charge submissions, so that if you don't get your moves off first, you have to go through these subs. And now the match we had on our green to try and get those loaded finally is gone away. All the progress we've made. So we need another green match. So now our opponent is going to be able to get 2 more moves off on us, because we had to sit through that sub, because George the Animal Steel, our MP trainer, was removed to get that extra X gem. So we pay for it by having a way longer match and suffering a lot of damage before we can get our specials to go. So once we kick out here, we'll see what that extra X-Break gem does. Just remember, it's going to be 3 instead of 2. Again, they go around the edges, which is a pain in the ass. If I had a 5K DDP, that would be 4 instead of 3. So they all go off, but 55K. We didn't get a ton of cascades, but did you think there was a huge amount of difference between that and the 2 that we had before that we got to a lot sooner? I don't think so. I think it's not a good trade-off in the long run until, well, I don't know when. You'd have to be facing someone really slow who doesn't have a submission. And to me, in the game, there aren't any of those in the women's category. So more than half of our health is gone because we've allowed Naomi to get a ton of moves off before we can go. The extra X gem being out there just won us the match, but it took a long time and we suffered a lot of damage. So let's go back to the previous build again. This is Steel and Titus. And this time we're going to go against Charlotte Flair. So this is a class disadvantage for us. This is Striker against a Showboat. Charlotte has 25% extra damage over us. We had a great green match, which led to a huge cascade off the bat. So that helps a lot and negates some of her advantage. So we're back to the first setup where 2 X-Break gems are going to go on the board. Ton of black out there. So it would be really unlucky if we didn't get a big, huge move here. And wow, did we ever get unlucky. Didn't connect with either of our X-Break gems. So very much like the Ultimate Warrior, like Goldberg, who put special gems out on the board, but rely on a random move to connect with them. That's when you can whiff a little bit. We didn't get a connection. The board didn't explode the way it did in those first couple matches when we got the connection. So now we're in a bit of a match here. Our submissions go on the board, on black gems near the middle, which is, to me, is ideal. We get a lucky black gem fall down there, so we're going to blow up the board here and end the match. So, huge boom. Small chance at bust occasionally to lead to longer matches, but we haven't really been in threat of losing yet. That's what makes Ronda so good. She just wins. So now you're asking, what if I go against another 4-star Ronda? And that Ronda is running green, green, black with Titus and Steel. Well, what you do is you sub in your other black move. You take out the finisher That black move steals green MP. So now we don't need George the Animal. We need Bray Wyatt. Because that black move we just put in is a 5 charge. And 5 is the magic number in this game when you've got a max MP trainer. That means it's ready to go on turn 1. So our opponent thinks they're going to destroy us here with their Ronda. Green, green, black. But we're about to make George the Animal steal a detriment to them. Because our black move doesn't do a lot of damage, but look what it does to our greens. Theirs get empty, ours get full. This is turn 1. And we're going to get all 3 of our moves off before they even go. $50,000 damage before they've even had a turn. They get a little bit of green MP, and we're about to steal it right back and fill our green moves again. So turn 1, we got all 3 of our moves off. Now on turn 2, we're getting all 3 of our moves off. This setup, let me repeat, does not work against anyone who is not Ronda Rousey running green, green, black with George the Animal Steel. I don't think any of the other women used 2 green moves yet. Maybe Asuka has a green, green setup, but I don't think so. I think she has mostly blue. So this is the Ronda versus Ronda killer setup. So what people have been doing to try to combat this is to run Ronda Rousey with no greens. And this is swapping all of those moves out and swapping the other 3 moves in. It's finisher yellow, yellow. You saw Enzo and Finn Balor. I believe Powerhouse Braun Strowman does the same. So he destroys black gems. So this is a setup I do not recommend for use other than to combat the green MP steal. When I recorded this video, I couldn't find anyone running that setup, so I'm just running it against a big 4-star with lots of health. It turns out to be Charlotte. But this is to prevent a green HP steal. It is not HP, green MP. It is not as effective as the traditional green, green, black. It doesn't hit as hard. I find it doesn't do as much damage. And I find it doesn't semi-recycle as well as the setup with the X-Break gems does. They're lower charge moves, so a couple of matches here and there can help you recharge those yellows. But again, I would only use this moveset in a situation where you're trying to prevent the green MP steal. One edge that you do have with this moveset is that those yellow moves to destroy gems, the second one is a choose. It's only a choose 2, but when you have X gems on the board, you can choose to destroy them, which can be a help. But again, these yellow moves don't do near the damage that the green moves do. So you're giving up some power. But like I said, when you're in a feud situation and you come up against an opponent who's expecting you to be running your Ronda the typical way with George the Animal Steel, and they've got it set up with that MP steal move, this is the counteract to that. They can't steal any of your green MP because you don't got any. Here's our choose to destroy. We've got 2 X gems on the board. Oh, that wasn't the choose to destroy, that was the random black. But here's the choose to destroy to finish it off. So you've seen a bunch of Ronda builds. Some great, some situational. All of them lead to victories against high HP 4-star superstars. So if you don't have her, try and get her to 4-star, because Ronda Rousey just wins.